right, so welcome back to Women in Real Time. If you're just tuning in, today it's a show all about dressing for your body type. So whether you have big shoulders, wide hips, if you have a thin waistline, whatever your body shape is, we have a special guest here today who is going to give you advice and tips on how to dress for your body type. So we have here Martha. She is the CEO of IMarE Boutique. IMarE Boutique. So thank you so much for coming on the show today, because as you know, women have always struggled on how to dress the right way for their body type. It's always been a struggle, whether it's too tight, too loose, too revealing, whatever the case is, we always seem to have some kind of struggle with dressing our body type. So can you give our viewers just a little bit of background on who you are, why'd you start your business, and what your business is about?
Okay, so my name is Martha Elmore. I am the CEO of IMarE Boutique and IMarE Cares. And I started my boutique almost 7 years ago. At the time, I was a single woman with 2 girls, just trying to make it. I had went through a divorce and being homeless and pretty much losing my job. So I pretty much just wanted to start something for my girls that I can pass on to them. I'm originally from Franklin, Louisiana. However, I've been in Houston, Texas for 21 years.
Well, welcome to
you. Don't even look 21 years old, by the way.
No, so hold on. So you said that you were homeless. So you've been at the bottom.
Yes.
You have been at the bottom, so you know that when you're at the bottom, you really had to fight. And now here you are today with your own business.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know that that has to be some motivation for your children and for your family. And even for
everyone
who's watching,
yeah, it's like, that is amazing. Because when you said that, it shocked me. I was like, hold on. She was homeless, and then now she's sitting here with her own business.
Yes.
So, like, being homeless and then coming to the point of having your own business, like, what struggles did you have coming up? Because maybe some of our viewers are thinking the same thing. They're in a shelter right now. They have the idea of owning their own business one day, but they're like, how can I do it? Like, I have nothing. But you've been there. So can you give some advice maybe to those viewers who are watching?
So I pretty much started my business with $0 and 0 cents. And it was just a leap of faith that I was able to accomplish what I did at the time that I did it. So even when we having my business, I think it was like 1.5 years is when I became homeless, because I was going from job to job, trying to pay rent, trying to pay car notes, trying to buy inventory. And I was just making a cycle. And then it just got to the point to where I lost my apartment, and I was trying to hurry up and get into another apartment before the actual lease would, you know, catch up with me. And at that time it got caught up with me. So I had to wait like 2 weeks for me to get another apartment. So I was homeless. I lived in a hotel, but the last thing I wanted to do was show my kids that what I wanted them to see what struggle was, but I wanted to see that we can still win. We can still defeat this situation. And so even while we were in the hotel with all our clothes and trash bags, I still shipped out every order. I still promoted myself on Instagram. Like, nobody knew I was homeless till I came out with it, but I still did what I had to do to show my kids that I am a strong woman, and that no matter what adversity or whatever that you go through, you can still win and push through. I could have quit, but I didn't. I kept pushing through because I knew that it was something bigger than me.
Wow, that sounds like a movie. That sounds like someone watching TV. Imagine you're still managing to do all of that while going through what you're going through, because it plays everything that you're going through. We're talking about the physical of losing the home and everything, but it plays on your mental as well. You know, you've got to be really mentally strong to be able to still keep it together and remember orders and remember, like, okay, I've got a business, and keep pushing yourself, because anyone would have just thrown up their hands in the air and said, you know what, I give up. This isn't for me. They could have even have said, you know what, maybe I'm not supposed to have my own business. Maybe it's not meant to be. But you didn't do that. You just kept pushing through. And look at you now. It's so beautiful. It's really inspiring. Really inspiring.
That shows the power of a woman, because it's, you weren't even holding on to just a job. You know, you weren't just building your business. You were taking care of your family in a hotel. Like, in a hotel situation, living like that, it is stressful all on its own. And then having kids on top of that, and then running your own business, and you never missed an order, that shows like your passion, your drive behind it. And that's why it's so important for us to always support the small businesses, because you really put your heart and soul and everything you have into these businesses. But how did you get the name?
Yeah,
for
it's
your
very
company?
unique.
So the name is IMarE. It's me and my daughter's name. So I have 2 daughters, Iceland and England. So it's I for Iceland, Mar for Martha, E for England. So that's why I get the name IMarE for me and my girls.
Oh,
That's so nice. How old
that's
are you girls?
wonderful.
They are 23 and 10 going on 33.
Oh my goodness, but you look so young.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my.
So now tell us about, so you started your journey of opening up your business. Tell us about how that started.
So it was a very crazy journey because I had no idea of what I was doing. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have any experience. I was just trying to figure it out and do it the best way that I could. So I did a lot of Google. The main thing that I wanted to do is make sure that I run a legit business, you know, so I knew to go and, you know, get my DBA and different things like that. And so I pretty much just researched everything because, like I said, I didn't have help. So I researched everything. I just kept making sure that I was getting the right inventory for the right customers. And so fast, you know, I started having a lot of celebrity clients reach out to me. And so that's what I think caused me to like really grow really fast, because a lot of times it takes people like 10 years to get to where I am. That took me like 3.5 to 4 years. So by the grace of God and then the connections that I made is what got me to the level that I'm at.
Wow. Well, you've dressed some incredible people, we see. So what would you say is your biggest career highlight to date?
I would say my biggest highlight was going to the Stella Awards. I was invited by my good friend, you know, Gugu Atkins. She actually does a segment at the Stella Awards with fashion, with hair, with makeup. And so that was part of the reason how I quit my job. I had asked my job, could I go? And they told me no. And so I was like, I can't miss this opportunity. Like the Stella Awards is really huge. Like everybody's at the Stella Awards. And so I decided to walk off my job. So I quit my job, and my old boss was like, you sure you want to do this? Like, you have 2 girls. And I kept saying, God would not open the door this big for me not to walk through it. So I was like, I'm gone. They said, are you going to stay till 5? No, I'm going now. So I left. And so I got ready for Vegas. Like I said, we didn't have any money because the opportunity came within a week. So we didn't have money to catch a flight. We rented a car. It was easier to rent a car. I took all my inventory in a 15-passenger van. Me, my mom, my daughters, and one of my old friends, and we drove 22 hours to Vegas, set up the next morning. I pretty much sold everything out. I gained a lot of other customers. And then while I was coming back, because Google wore a lot of my clothes, I had over like 200 orders just sitting from when I got back. So that pretty much was a reminder from God that I did the right thing. And after that, the rest was history. I just kept going up and up and up.
Wow. And could you imagine if you didn't take that step?
Yeah.
If you would have stayed at
If you would
work.
have said, no, you know, I got to stay here in my
and-
safe zone. you
Yes,
know?
I had that reminder about 2 months ago. One of my old co-workers reached out to me and told me how proud she was of me. And she was like, because remember they told you no, you couldn't take off? And it's reminders like that that just makes you think about where God has brought you from, and it makes you say it's good to make those steps sometimes. And a lot of times as a woman, we are fearful and don't want to take that leap, but we have to somebody, because if we don't believe in ourselves, then who will?
Yeah, and if you don't fight for yourself, nobody else will.
Right.
And then you could have been stuck in that same position and never growing and never getting your clothes out there, your fashion out there, and helping so many women.
Yes.
So I am so glad that you did take
Thank you.
that.
Thank you.
So speaking of all the success that you're having, how do you define success for yourself? Like, what are markers for you that say, okay, I have success?
So a lot of times people define success as money. I don't put it all with the money. I look at how many lives I'm changing. I look at who I'm influencing. Like, I'm also an influencer. I influence a lot of people, from men to women. I'm changing lives. I'm helping other boutique owners become millionaires, become 6-figure owners, and to help them, you know, make sure that they have a great, successful boutique. So that's what motivates me. It's not about the money, because we can make money all the time, but it's like, who life are you changing? Who am I influencing? And that's what makes it important for me, because yes, I want to influence my daughters and you know, my family, my husband, but I also want to influence the masses because that's what makes me smile, that's what makes me happy, and that's what keeps me going.
Wow, but that's really important because when you're giving back, you're also feeding yourself.
Yes.
And then you're bringing in new people. You're
Yes.
bringing in new clients and they see that spirit in you. They see that difference in you, and then they want to come to you, and then you continue to be able to grow your company. So what do you think are some adversaries that women entrepreneurs, like things that they face, things that are challenging just because that they're women trying to become entrepreneurs in this kind of field?
One thing I would say is confidence, because I feel like a lot of people lack confidence, and I feel like if you don't have confidence, you can't do anything else, because that causes depression, that causes you having anxiety and different things like that. I think another reason is too that when we get to certain levels, you know, with women, and this is also with men, that we feel like we can't do certain things. And I feel that it doesn't matter if you're the CEO, if it come like me, I'm, you know, doing packages, don't be upset or think that you can't get your hands dirty, because, you know, even though I have staff, I still have to ship orders, I still have to do things. So I think that are some of the things that you have to be confident with yourself and be okay with going back and working hands on.
Yeah, I like that.
That's really, really nice. At the beginning of the show, we were talking about how difficult it is for us to find clothes. If we're not a certain body shape, if we're not a certain size, it's so difficult. So on behalf of half of the world, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for not forgetting about us. Thank you for catering for us. But have you ever, I don't know, come across somebody and thought, no, I can't do this, or no, it's going to be difficult to dress
It's a
you.
challenge.
I understand there is a reason for your struggle. Have you ever had a difficult client?
You want me to say that? No, so what makes it difficult is a lot of times, and this is with a plus size person or with somebody who's smaller, that a lot of times we don't want to wear shapers. And I don't care what size you are. We need some foundation. We need to make sure that the items are smooth, make sure that it looks good, because, you know, sometimes you might have something that's white. So you have to make sure you have the correct undergarments. You know, all of those things play a part and it's very important when you're putting on any type of outfit. So the most important thing is the most challenging has been like telling somebody you need to wear shapewear, and they're like, no, I don't need to wear shapewear, I'm fine. No, you know, you want to make sure that you have the right foundation so that the outfit can be more flattering and fit you perfect, and so that when you walk in, you can turn heads. But we don't want, you know, stuff hanging everywhere. You want to make sure that it's you know, that you have the foundation, that everything is good. So that's like the challenging part for me when I have to tell somebody that you need to have foundation.
I think we need to do a whole separate show just talking about shapewear. And because you're not the first person to say that. I've heard that the outfit you wear on the outside starts with what you're wearing on the inside.
Yes.
And usually people just say, oh, no one's going to see what I'm wearing inside. Let me just throw anything on.
Oh, they're going to see it.
I think we need to do a whole show about that.
Right.
Hopefully you will come back and educate us all on how to start getting dressed.
I know.
So let's talk about the 5, and I know you're going to go, after the break, you're going to go a bit more into that, but what are the 5 body types in fashion? Did we speak about?
So I don't like to really talk about body types because it can be, you know, a little offensive. You know, if you tell somebody like, oh, you're a pear shape, or oh, you're apple shape, because a lot of people are offensive. So I try to just stick with, you know, you're blessed at the top, or you're more curvy at the bottom, or, you know, you have broad shoulders, you know, things like that. I try to stay away from the names that's considered like the fruits, because people get offensive. Now, if you come to me and say, hey, I'm pear-shaped, what can I wear? Then I'm going to assist you, but I try my best not to say those words because I don't want to offend anybody, because as a plus size person, you know, you already have to wear your self-esteem on your shoulders. You already feel a certain type of way, so you have to just be careful as a plus size person what to say to them and what not to say.
And I've got to ask the question, as a plus size person, do you feel like you face challenges because of that, like people not taking you seriously, or people not, I don't know, you know, plus size people always have to work harder.
Or they always have that saying, she's pretty in the face. Excuse me, where's the rest of that sentence?
Okay, and I think we do deal with that a lot of times because, you know, you're plus size. So, you know, if you lack confidence, then everybody else is going to be like, okay, well, she doesn't look good. But if you come out and you give confidence and you show up and show out, then I'm going to demand respect. So when I walk through, I don't care who you are, you go turn around and you go look at me, because I'm going to make sure that my waist is snatched. I'm going to make sure that my face is beat. I'm going to make sure that I have my right foundation on. So anything I have on is flat, you know, it fits good and it looks good. So I make sure that when I step out, I demand respect, and all attention is always on me.
That's nice.
Good.
And it shows that you take care of yourself, you invest in yourself.
Yes.
And regardless of what your shape or body size is, everyone needs to take care of themselves, because you do feel better when, once you've taken care of yourself. We've all had those days where we just get up and we're in a rush, we throw anything on and we run out of the house. We're not impressed with what we put on.
Yeah.
And we like try to blend in with everyone else. But then you have those days where you feel like, oh wow, I made an effort. And you're trying to, you know, step out a little bit. So it's really nice to show that we have to invest in ourselves anyway, regardless of our body type, right?
So I think we could just go on this subject for days, but we have to take a quick break. I know y'all are really enjoying everything that she is saying, but we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, she's going to go more in depth on the clothes that you should be wearing for your body type. So you're not going to want to miss the advice that she has for us. So we'll be right back after this commercial break.